I am your worship associate, Emma Cavalier, and it is a joy to be with you today. Community Church is a progressive, open-minded, and inclusive religious community. We welcome all who are on a spiritual search for truth and meaning. Ours is a faith in action as we do the work of social justice and elevate compassion in our quest to live ethically, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every being. Please look to your weekly email for announcements, and Alan Malone has one, but first we are delighted to welcome to the pulpit Leslie Runnels, a local youth minister.
Just wanted to get everybody on schedule. I don't know how many people are interested in the sermon writing seminar, but our tentative plan is to start the last Saturday in January. We'll meet every other Saturday until we get her done, which is usually probably 7 or 8 meetings. Anyway, I need to get in touch with you about that if you have conflict of some kind, if you can't meet on Saturday mornings, or if you'd rather meet at a different time. I need to talk to you about that. So please get in touch with either me or with Reverend Lund, and we'll work that out.
Please join me in reading our land acknowledgement. You can find it on the back of your order of service. We acknowledge and pay tribute to the original inhabitants of this land. The city of New Orleans is a continuation of an indigenous trade hub on the Mississippi River, known for thousands of years as Comanche. We recognize that as a result of broken treaties and involuntary removals, Native Americans were often forced from their lands. We remember and pay respect to the communities impacted by these actions. Native peoples have lived on this land since time immemorial, and the resilient voices of Native Americans remain an inseparable part of our local culture. With gratitude and honor, we acknowledge the indigenous nations that have lived and continue to thrive here.
Deeper than DNA, more fundamental than molecules or quarks. At our living core, we are wholeness and transfiguring love. We often forget that power, becoming lonely or resentful, comparing ourselves to others, acting out of our fears rather than living our glory. Occasionally, we rouse from our trance to remember our wholeness. For a time, we embody unsentimental love. We make efforts to wake others and to remain fully present ourselves. Our lives and our time here together are made sacred by our striving. For the next hour, and for the rest of our lives, may we be more aware of the spirit of life evolving through and among us. So may we be.
It is our custom to light a chalice, invoking hope and eternal truth to our worship. Please join us in singing the words of our chalice lighting. We light this flame. The words are printed in your order of service.
Robinson. I'm an author and illustrator accessible to as many different people as possible means everything. Today, I want to share a story with you all titled You Matter. I illustrated this book because I wasn't sure if everyone was receiving that message. I was even hearing those words that they or their life mattered. And so I wanted to show them that it does, and not for the reasons that you might think. It's not, you don't matter simply because of how good your grades are or how many trophies you've won. You matter simply because you're here, because you exist. The small stuff, too small to see. Have you ever looked under a microscope before and seen teeny tiny little things moving around? Those who swim with the tide and those who don't. The first to go and the last, you matter. When everyone thinks you're a pest, when something is just out of reach, when everyone is too busy to help, you matter. Can you see why all these dinosaurs are so busy? Where are they running from? Where are they going? If you fall down, if you have to start all over again, even if you're really gassy, did you know the sun is really gassy? It's like this big ball of gas burning billions of miles, millions of miles away? Who knows? Anyhow, you matter. Sometimes home is far away. You see this astronaut, she's looking down at her home. It's your home too, right? Planet Earth? And she has something in her hand. Can you see what it is? It's like a little photo, a picture. Sometimes someone you love says goodbye. Has that ever happened to you? Someone you cared about had to go or leave and say goodbye? Yeah. Sometimes you feel lost and alone. And look, we're in a busy city, and sometimes it can feel really loud, and you see all these cars and people, and there's a little dog who's lost. But you matter. Old and young, and look, the dog is back with its owner. And also in this picture it says old and young, right? We see some old guys here feeding the birds, but you know, this is a really big tree, and you know, trees get really old. The bigger they get, some trees I think can live to be hundreds, maybe thousands of years old. The first to go and the last. The small stuff, too small to see. You matter. Thank you all for sharing in story time with me today. Just remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Creativity is your friend. And if you haven't heard from anyone today, you matter.
This is our sacred time of joys and sorrows. If you were online, you may write your joys and sorrows in the comments section to be read aloud. In person, you may write them on one of the cards being passed out by our greeters, or feel free to come up to the microphone and share your joys or sorrows. Please remain seated as we sing our hymn, number 145, in the Singing the Living Tradition, as Tranquil Streams. Hymn number 145.
Thank you.
more from online. The first is a sorrow that 2023 was filled, this is from Joe Neal, a sorrow that 2023 was so filled with violence and was what we most need. Violence and war, when what we most need is love and peace. Another one from, I'm not sure who, wishing us a happy new year in 2024. Do we have any other joys or sorrows? Or would anyone like to come up to the mic?
I have a joy. So I went to Kansas, and I got to meet my niece. I mean, it's like my friend's daughter, but her name is Moxie, and she always refers to herself in the third person, and she's like, Moxie, hungry. And like,
That's wonderful. Thank you. We will light 2 more candles, one for the joy still bubbling up, too new to share, and one for the sorrows that we cannot yet put into words. Know that we hold you in our hearts. Community Church Unitarian Universalist is a self-sustaining congregation. Members and friends' generosity help us to do the sacred work of bringing justice, spirituality, and compassion to our community and beyond. You can give online at ccuunola.org/stewardship or by text at 504-370-2659, text GIVE. And you can give in person this morning. Someone will bring around a basket. Please join us, or you may remain seated for our offertory hymn, which will...
My joy is like spring so warm, it makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain was like a river of tears, so vast it fills the four oceans.
Our first reading is a responsive reading. Please turn to number 437 in your hymnal. It's called Let Us Worship. It's number 437. Let us worship with our eyes and ears and fingertips.
Let us love the world through heart and mind and body.
We feed our eyes upon the mystery and revelation in the faces of our brothers and sisters.
We seek to know the wistfulness of the very young and the very old, the wistfulness of people in all times of life.
We seek to understand the shyness behind arrogance, the fear behind pride, the tenderness behind clumsy strength, the anguish behind cruelty.
All life flows into a great common life if we will open our eyes to our companions.
Let us worship, not in bowing down, not with closed eyes and stopped ears.
Let us worship before we all open our knees with full outstretching of our spirits.
Life comes with singing and laughter, with tears and confiding, with a rising wave too great to be held in the mind and the heart and the body, to those who have fallen in love with life.
Let us worship,
Please rise, as you are willing or able, and join us in singing our hymn number 108, My Heart Flows On, an Endless Song. That's hymn number 108.
Please call me by my true names. Don't say that I will depart tomorrow. Even today, I am still arriving. Look deeply. Every second I am arriving. To be a bud on a spring branch. To be a tiny bird with still fragile wings, learning to sing in my new nest. To be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower. To be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I still arrive in order to laugh and to cry, to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that is alive. I am a mayfly metamorphosing on the surface of the river. And I am the bird that swoops down to swallow the mayfly. I am a frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond. And I am the grass snake that silently feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks. And I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself in the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I am a member of the Politburo with plenty of power in my hands, and I am the man who has to pay his debt of blood to my people, dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain is like a river of tears, so vast it fills the 4 oceans. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my cries and laughter at once. So I can see that my joy and my pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so I can wake up, and the door of my heart could be left open, the door of compassion.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you all. I hope this new year brings you lots of joy and laughter and clarity and renewed purpose. The poet P. Bodie told me, "It's a lesson we learn early, a lie spun true, that we are made worthy based on our appearance, not for what good we can do, and not for the tremendous endeavor of being human either. That alone spells our worth. We are deserving of love as we are, as we will be, as we have been from birth." That seems like an easy enough directive, right? We are all worthy, deserving of love as we have been from birth. Easy peasy, enough said, right? Except it's not. Most of us, in the human being that we are hardwired for connection, for acceptance, for belonging, relationality. And for that, we think we must feel worthy in order to deserve it. worthy of connection, acceptance, belonging, relationship. Sometimes not recognizing that we don't need to feel worthy, we just are. We are worthy. I am worthy, you are worthy. And those outside these walls, also worthy. Again, easy enough. Our first principle of Unitarian Universalism is to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of each person. Our faith calls us to this work, and we need it. We need to do this work because there are so many messages coming from systems and institutions, all run by people, that tell us we are not worthy, that challenge our inherent dignity. Even though we intellectually know we are all worthy of love, honor, and respect, we don't always treat ourselves that way or others. Systems of oppression continue to want us to be and feel unworthy. Otherwise, if we really knew our worth, we would rebel. A revolution of worthiness would reign. Capitalism thrives on us depriving ourselves and neighbors of worthiness. Capitalism focuses on the material good, not on the body, not on the human, or their spirit. Instead, our bodies are really just supposed to cater to the machine, the force of capitalism. Author and psychologist James Finley proposes that our quality of life shows how we feel about our worthiness. How we care for and treat our bodies shows how we feel about our worthiness. Overscheduling, that jam-packed calendar of events, meetings, and tasks, is actually known as a sign of low self-esteem. Wait, what? How can that be? That's not what my calendar means. My full calendar means I'm capable, I'm wanted, I'm worthy of those meetings, tasks, and events. I'm popular, I'm trusted. I'm busy doing anti-oppression work for the movement for collective liberation. Somebody has to do this, and what an honor that I get to do it. I'm also overbooked, double booked, triple booked. Is there such a thing as quadruple booked? Because that's me on most Thursdays. So I get burned out. I slide into poor communication styles. I get testy and irritated. I'll slide into passive aggressiveness. I want to quit. I don't do things well because I'm overworked and under-resourced, and I feel like I'm failing. If I get so tired I behave in ways I don't like, then I'm bad. I suck at this. And I lose that feeling of worthiness that the full calendar told me I had. So I burrow away, shut down, and have a pity party. And then I get lonely because there's no one at my pity party but me. So eventually, after some time, I come back up into my calendar and start doing all those things. And even adding more to my calendar, adding more worth to my calendar to make up for my laziness, my pettiness, my emotional immaturity. Finley says the quality of our life shows how we feel about our worthiness. What does the quality of our life look like? There's no doubt that the quality of my life includes liberation work and play. And it is good for me to continue to learn over and over and over that overscheduling and overworking does not equate to worthiness. I wonder what our TV shows and movies would look like if this country really knew our worthiness. What would advertising and marketing look like if we truly knew our worthiness? What would social media look like? How would it feel if we understood our innate worthiness? What would our workday look like? At different times of the year, would our work schedule be different in the winter when the days are short on sunshine? If we understood our worthiness. Another way we fall into feelings of unworthiness is from the comparing mind. comparing ourselves to others. They are smarter, they are a better leader, they are taller, they are thinner, they have more friends, they have more grandkids, they are a doctor, they sit still better, they are a better cook, their kids are better behaved. All of this leads to suffering and othering. And comparing mine doesn't feel better the other way either. It's a trick, a lie spun true. That if I say I am better at that, my kids are better, my car is better, my sermon is better, all of that still leads to suffering because comparing mine is dichotomous evaluative thinking. Good, bad, better, worse, right, wrong. There's no humanity in dichotomy. There's no spectrum. We might play with, well, I'm better at the piano than person A, but not as good as person B. That pretends to honor a spectrum, but it's just a comparison. A more healing behavior would be to say, I'm not good at that piano style yet, but that has nothing to do with my work. It has to do with time and practice and patience, not worth. Comparing mind also likes us to spend time with the past, with regret and remorse, ruminating in old behavior patterns. How many times have I returned to a conflict, playing it over and over again in my mind, proving to myself how right I was and how wrong they were? Really, a better thing to do is if I find myself in that review of conflict, to see if there is any new insight there. If there is, that's helpful. But if there isn't, I'm kind of just stroking my own ego, trying to reclaim my worth. But I am inherently worthy. I don't have to spend my time trying to reclaim my own worth or prove that I was right. And neither do you. There are no prerequisites for worthiness. We just are worthy. Full stop. We are worthy. We are each precious, worthy, in the same way that the pecan trees are worthy. Even if they are missing branches or don't produce a lot of pecans one year, or even over 5 years, still worthy, still precious, still living and breathing and being a tree. We must always remember who we are, and that we are precious and worthy always and all days, even if, fill in your blank. I just completed a 6-week group focused on worthiness. Coincidence that I am now providing you a worship service focused on worthiness? Not so much. I was so moved by that group that I wanted to share with you, with other Unitarian Universalists, as we move into a new year, with hopes and dreams that we all begin to know our worthiness and see our lives change as the knowledge turns into practice and reality. My intention that came from that group practice is that if I stay connected to my worthiness, I will treat myself better, and that will also help me treat each and every being who is also worthy, with the respect and love for their wholeness and holiness, their inherent worthiness. So I wrote a mantra to help me. I'm worthy of all love, all respect, and all joy. I am here to receive love and compassion and to work for justice for us all. We are each called to affirm our own worth and dignity, but sometimes we need help. May I have the courage to ask for help when I need it, and the resources to say yes or no when someone else asks me for help. So I offer this litany to you, where you are invited to repeat what I say, and pay attention to what you feel emotionally, physically, and what thoughts arise as you repeat these phrases. You ready? I am a good person. Even though I mess up sometimes, I am a good person. I am worthy of love and respect. It is good for me to be joyful. My worthiness does not depend on anything that I do. I am worthy even if I'm not strong. I am worthy even if I get mad. It is good for me to play. I was born worthy. I will live worthy. I will die worthy. Maybe some of those statements were easy to repeat. Maybe some were a little harder. I struggle with the even if I'm not strong, because strong refers to so many things, not just physical strength, which I struggle with, but also emotional strength, financial strength, relationship strength. So I know that that is where my work is. Yes, you were born worthy, you will live worthy, and you will die worthy. And if you are worthy and precious, so is everyone else. Even the people who do really bad stuff. This can be hard to take, but really, it's not that hard. But it does make it clear that we are not all aware of our innate worthiness. This acceptance of our basic core of goodness is the necessary foundation for our personal healing and transformation. This is a lifelong process, not a one and done. It is an ongoing process, an ongoing task. Writer, speaker, and activist Parker Palmer shares, "True self, when violated, will always resist us, sometimes at great cost, holding our lives in check with its honor until we honor its truth. Vocation does not come from willfulness. It comes from listening. I must listen to my life and try to understand what it is truly about, quite apart from what I would like it to be about. Or my life will never represent anything real in the world, no matter how earnest my intentions." So now our work is to make way for our true self. As Thich Nhat Hanh read that poem, "Call me by my true names." Our true worthiness, which begins with practice, which means we get to try again and again and again, each time getting closer, easier and easier. Practice is what grounds us and connects us to something larger than ourselves. If you want to be worthy, to know your worthiness, practice with being close to worthiness. Practice is what ties you to worthiness. We get caught up in cognitive dissonance between knowing that we are worthy and living a life that shows that worthiness. We have to do the behavior to break the old pattern. We have to practice all the time. Change is hard. Breaking old patterns and behaviors is not easy, but it is certainly doable, and we have done it all our lives. We're actually really good at it. We need to embrace those holy zones of discomfort. All change is somewhat uncomfortable. Perhaps it's easier when you surrender to the process of transformation and growth. But we don't surrender easily. We don't even really like that word. And sometimes when we do surrender, it's out of exhaustion. But let this be different. Let this be a trust, a true surrender to your true worthy self. As you do this work, as we do this work, we connect ourselves to the energy of the people around the world who are practicing together. Right now, somewhere, there is a monk praying for the end of all suffering. That energetic connection becomes stronger as we practice. Each time I am aware of my worthiness and see my life reflecting that, I know that others are doing the same thing. somewhere around the world, or right here in this sacred sanctuary. Buddhists say every moment contains everything for your enlightenment. Every moment contains everything for your enlightenment. We have everything we need for enlightenment right here and now in this beautiful present moment. As you do this work at your job, at home, in a grocery store, in a committee meeting, in your calendar, if you encounter resistance, just remember, you have everything you need right then in that moment for your enlightenment. So I will tell you, this isn't easy, especially in moments of intense conflict. That is when my old habits are fresh at the ready, pushing aside any new habits I've been practicing. After the conflict, and I review my responses, most of the time I sigh and say, what happened? What about all I've been learning? Nonviolent communication, worthiness, joy, justice. Where did that go in that heated moment? That's why we must keep practicing, so that we build new emotional muscle memory that replaces those old habits. Increase your failures, enjoy them, and then you can increase your successes. We can increase the muscles of surrender. One of my teachers told us that when your life is full of chaos and you move into more calm, at first you will be bored. But that means you're on the right track. But it might feel weird, like you should be doing something. Why is my calendar not full? Am I slacking? Am I being lazy? Or have I slowed down enough to just be? Just be my worthy self. Breathing, resting, being joyful, feeling grounded and centered, capable of holding both joy and suffering. Sometimes we have to quiet that negative critical voice that pipes up that I should be doing more to prove my worth. I quiet it with curiosity and compassion, and I invite it to travel on. Not today, Satan. Not today. I offer up these opportunities for practice that my teacher in that 6-week class gave us to help connect and seal with our worthiness. I hope these are helpful as you enter into a new year of faith, love, and worthiness. Say yes to unconditional love and acceptance from the universe and for yourself. Say yes to this day and what it may bring. Say yes to asking for and accepting help. Say yes to asking for and accepting gifts from the universe. Pick a specific part of each day to remind yourself to review your connection to your worthiness. Keep connected with the concept of worthiness with your mind and practice feeling it in your body. Meet what you find with curiosity, which was one of the best cures for judgment, and compassion. Remember who you are and how you want to be. Smile at people. Look for the precious in the other person and be willing to see it. And lastly, remember that worthiness is the place you are coming and acting from, not some place that you are moving towards. You are already there. You are worthy. May our worth be reflected in our daily lives and in the work and play we do here together in this sacred community. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.
Thank you for that lovely message. Please join me in reading our chalice extinguishing. You can find it in your order of service. We extinguish the chalice here, that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again.
The Buddha says, deserve your love and affection. So be it, and see to it.
Please join us in our closing hymn, number 350 in the hymnal. That's number 350, The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time. Please join us for coffee and refreshments in the fellowship hall.